The Chicago White Sox are having a horrible season. Everyone who's followed baseball at least knows that. Maybe even worse than the Athletics last year. It's not for sure that they're going to get to 50 wins at all, maybe even 45 wins. And they're chasing history in the wrong way. And they've already broken some personal franchise records, but they might even get some MLB records here soon. But anyways, enough in doom and gloom about that. There's been rumors now that since the White Sox are so bad and supposedly they don't care anymore, even though they've had the same owner for 40 years, by the way, that which doesn't make sense. All of a sudden, he just decides not to care. More on that in a little bit. That now the Sox need to move to Nashville, and that's what the casual fan will say. And I'm not trying to pick on the casual fan. This is just to more inform them about why it's very improbable. So yes, Jerry Reinsdorf, you can make a case that he's given up on the team. What I would say to that is I think you're half right, but not completely. Jerry Reinsdorf sort of, yes, he did sort of luck into Michael Jordan. And if you did not know, he's the Chicago Bulls owner in the NBA and the Chicago White Sox owner, of course, in the MLB. So he did sort of luck into Michael Jordan. But one thing he really did into is the pitching staff that the White Sox had in 2005. In 2005, just to give you one stat, in the American League Championship, they pitched four straight complete games. That will not happen anytime soon, or if ever again, because now relievers are used a lot more. And pitchers pitch so quick in terms of speed that they don't last that deep in the game. But just it just goes to show that rotation was great. The Sox only lost one postseason game, all that playoffs, and they won the 2005 World Series. But my point with that is the Sox won in 2005, a lot like the Bulls did in the 90s with getting Jordan through an unconventional method. They won through not having a ton of sluggers. They won based on pitching solely alone. I mean, they had some good batters, don't get me wrong. They had Paul Konerko, they had Frank Thomas for part of the season. Greedy, a lot of other guys. Juan Uribe was on that team, but they won it based on pitching, which the only in playing small ball, they won their games 1-0 and all that. I mean, the legendary game 3 game where they were 1-1 in extra innings. Uh, the only other team I can think of that's done that recently is the 2015 Royals. They played a lot of small ball, not a ton of great starters, but they had an elite bullpen, and we used to call it the Kansas City Special. They had those little flares out to center field, left field, right field, and all that, and they'd get these little duck snorts hits. Um, so the reason why Jerry Reinsdorf, I think, is stingy is because he wants to win it the 2005 way again, because that's all he knows. Is he a little cheap? Yes, for sure. The White Sox biggest contract is only 70 million something dollars, which in terms of baseball, by the way, Otani just got 700 million. So 10 times more than the White Sox biggest contract ever, to put that into perspective. And a reason why a lot of Sox fans are so mad is because we're in a big market team. We are a big market team. We're in Chicago. You look at the Angels, the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Mets. I could probably throw more in there too. Both of the Texas teams, the Rangers, the Astros, all of those teams buy, every single one of them, whether they're good or not. I know the Angels have had some problems. They all buy. The White Sox do not buy, and that's what drives the fans crazy. Now, to get back to the topic of the source, though, with relocation, that's where I think it benefits the Sox is that we are big market, that we can't just get picked off by Oakland because people are looking around right now and the A's are going to Las Vegas. I know there's still some litigations. Bradley, who's on PWTB, is still holding out hope. Is not going to happen. They're going to Las Vegas and they'll be there in 2028. And the Rays got a new stadium. They've been another team that's been picked on. They got a stadium deal in in St. Petersburg, but in Tampa to stay there. And those have been the two main targets. Both of those are small market. And Oakland's lost three teams. It makes sense why they were considering relocation. But with the White Sox, it doesn't make any sense. And for this is the biggest reason I've always said. It's because think about it. The White Sox leave, even if they just go to Arlington Heights in Illinois for say, right? They would lose all the city taxpayer funding. And you say, well, Evan, isn't it like that for every season or every team who's in a city? That's true. However, we have a bunch of Cubs fans also paying for that. Not to mention that Chicago's the third biggest city in the nation, but you have mostly Cubs fans paying for the Sox to stay there. So from an owner's perspective, because a lot of them, they do think on the financial side, they're like, wait, that makes no sense at all to move. That makes no sense to move. So when you see Nashville, Charlotte, all that, even if it's an owner who comes in and knows nothing about baseball, I don't think he would move based on that financial aspect. And also, there's a history in Chicago and all that. But that I think is too strong and a little stronger than the A's were in Oakland per se. But when you look at Nashville, Charlotte, I see the MLB eventually going there. It's probably going to become in relocation. I think it will come in relocation because the MLB has made a lot of rule changes recently to make the game more watchable with the pitch clock and all that. Now I think they're going to hammer home on relocation. And or excuse me, not relocation, expansion, and add two more teams to get it to 32.